Hey guys, it's Opposite here. The finale of Game of Thrones aired few days ago and it shocked me like it did to many people, but after analyzing it, I quickly decided that this was worth discussing in a video. Obviously, spoilers ahead for the entire Season 8 and thus I present to you Game of Thrones Season 8, overrated, overhyped and overhated. It's no secret many people disliked Season 7. Whether it was because of the lack of important events or being the season D&D did by themselves is unimportant. The key here is that such thing has already happened before, but people expected this season, Season 8, to be better for some reason. Keep this in mind, this will be important later. The first two episodes of Season 8 were probably the least divisive of the season, and were more accepted by most of the fans. I also agree with that, and for such I will focus less on them and more on the outer episodes. Keep in mind this is not a review, just me giving my perspective of specific points of the season, and I would focus more on the parts of the season some people or I find to be negative. Let's start with the elephant in the room, shall we? Well, the more elegant one of the two anyway. The story of Daenerys Targaryen, one of the last characters claiming to be kings and queens, still alive, is coming into focus this season. All of a sudden, in one episode she seems to go mad against the Radials and burns down an entire city. But did she? Daenerys started her way as a sister to a very stupid brother claiming to be king. She's got her share of ambition over time, and as the story progressed she cared less and less for what people suffered. That's where people say, well, she cared about her people, didn't she? The problem is that it's only half true. If Daenerys had a list of things that she cared about, first of all was the throne, then her friends, not advisors, mind you, and Ras Salad and Dothraki, and then, only then, her image to the people. Not the people, but her image to the people, like Marjorie. That's an important distinction. Daenerys wants to liberate people, but did she always did so gently and respected their traditions? Did she not order that poor guy killed in front of one of the slavers-based city's crowd? Did she not crucify people? Do not try to look at her this way. This way she portrays the image of being a charismatic leader who wants to liberate. But how does one liberate with the fate of she given to Jorah and many others? As the story progressed she became slowly more and more obsessed about the throne, and in the episode that is the final battle, the Targaryen versus the one villain that Game of Thrones had left, she got mad. There is some justice when people say her madness was rushed. It was not justifiable, but it was never meant to be. Her father would have preferred to burn his city alive and his daughter made that wish a reality. But wait, didn't she just lost her most beloved advisor Jorah? Two of her dragons, Missandei, and supposedly got betrayed by Varys. It doesn't make sense? Yeah, well, it is not supposed to. She's a Targaryen, and that means she's more prone to madness than the normal person. Whether you love her as a character or find her like me to be extremely righteous and annoying, she was given justice, even though it was a bit rough, even though it was a bit fast, with the excellent build-up of episode 4. As for her death, it would have been much too cliché and obvious if either her or Jon would have ruled, so it had to be that way. The only thing I wish is that she had more time to get mad, and that her death scene would not have been ruined by the dragon carrying her away. Now in this part there is justice to some of the criticism and the blame in my opinion. Let's start with the Night King. The White Walkers have been a grave danger since the beginning. Everybody believed that in this season we will get to see their full strength. But the thing is, as far as I know, GRRM is more interested in the politics of the world than the unnatural, unlike Tolkien and others. Even if I hate the fact that the victory over the dead was too easy, I can see how the fact that they are not the focus of the story makes sense. I can definitely see how episode 3 angered a lot of people and it angered me as well, as it is the second worst episode of the season in my opinion. However, I do believe that it ties well to the Jon Snow arc. He was supposed to kill the Night King, but he didn't. But while he was not supposed, but theorized by many, because it makes sense, not because of some prophecy that appears in the books, that Jon will kill Daenerys. Do I think that Theon or other characters could have done it better than Arya? Sure. But I will get soon to why all the bad stuff in this part does not really annoy me. My expectations were low for this Night King stuff because the GOT was always better on the manipulations and perspectives than the pure actual cliches of hero versus villain. Now I can't argue with the lightings, the nonsense fighting, the characters not dying, and nearly everything else about episode 3 being very bad. But this does not bother me because I cared more for the finale. I cared for Game of Thrones, of who actually would sit there in the end, and that's when I got mad. But I'm not a sensationalist, and I will explain this in more detail. Bran is a logical choice to be the king, because of many reasons that Snow has. He's about to do the right thing, he doesn't want it, blah blah blah. But Bran lacks everything else Jon had. He lacks the charisma, and he basically just stares at everyone for many seasons. Tyrion would have been a much better king, but Tyrion is too good for D&D's writing, Sansa is too focused on the north, Snow should have been killed, Daenerys is dead, and the others aren't worth it, so we are left with the creepy one. So, the point of this part is that they hyped many things that they have subverted, like they did in seasons before. It's a risk they did not take for a long time, and that's why people were angry. The last time Game of Thrones subverted our expectations were when the show was actually legendary. But things change. Tyrion as a king is too good of an idea to be made by D&D, and Jon's arc ending meaningless is why episode 3 cannot make sense. But there are more characters to the show than just Bran, Snow, Daenerys and the Night King. So here I would argue that Tyrion got a little better than last season, Arya was the same but not worse, Davos, Gendry etc. were great. A shame that Sansa got a little worse, and that Varys was killed the way Baelish did, undeservedly. Personally, I also do like the arc of Jaime this season. I don't think that the thing he said to Brienne nor Tyrion was out of character because, hear me out, they were lies. He said that to Brienne because he did not want her chasing him. Yes, he cared about civilians, but he cared more for love. He said it to Tyrion to try to feel better about what he was going to do. I find them dying for bricks, not a show, not a big deal, is the worst insult to Lannisters. Fallen by her own pride and did not get even an audience or a proper kill, an empty feeling kill, for two of the most arrogant and attention-seeking characters in the show. I do dislike many parts of the finale though, especially Bronn being in the council not making any sense, or the fact that Jon did not die. Personally, I would have had him wait for Daenerys to nearly execute Tyrion and only then kill her, resulting in him being killed by the Unsullied. So in the end, I think that most of the problems of the season is either people liking Daenerys too much, people forgetting that we got season 7 and set their expectation too high, and many nonsensical plot choices by D&D. Overall, I did enjoy this season except the finale, and I'm very sad that this is over. Thank you for listening to this a bit more rambling video. My next one will be probably about E3 soon. Comment what you think down below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been Opposite, signing off.